So welcome everyone. I'm super happy to start again. I have a new session of webinars with e-Comas and a series we've called Secrets of Brands. And the first guest is someone who's very well known in his industry. He's got awards. He's been awarded many things. I'm very honored to have him on the webinar. It's Pierre-Loic from Michelin. And maybe we always start with a fun fact about our guest, Pierre-Loic. I asked you to prepare one. I don't know what it is. So what's the fun fact about you?
Wow. Uh, Direct way to start the webinar, Jerome. Thank you. If I have to choose one, I would say that, this is not actually a fun fact. At least for me, probably it will be for you guys. This is the birth of my second son. It was a time where I was no harm to get the baby from the deliveries, because I was playing football 2 weeks ago, and then I broke my two arms playing football. So definitely my wife wasn't happy for this, but yes, it was a good memories afterwards.
Yeah. So, we have a saying in French where when you have a broken arm, you're a bit useless, a bras cassé. So that was okay. That's an interesting one. Okay.
But
So,
imagine if you have two broken arms.
okay. So Pierre-Loic has been through stuff, people. So he will share a lot of things about how to, and we've worked a lot together on content and how you use content to build brand awareness. So let's see if, as a professional, you've done a better job than as a dad. Let's get into a bit more details about who you are, Pierre-Loic, and maybe you can share a bit more about your professional career.
Yep. So my name is Pierre-Loic. I'm married. I have 3 kids now. 36 now. So I started working in the group SEB, so Group SAB, which was a famous SDA manufacturer. So basically, I'm starting in the marketing position, and then I moved to sales position, and then I moved to e-sales position. And then I joined also running big accounts such as Amazon at the EMEA level. And then I moved to Michelin since 3 years now. And I'm at a central position, helping the market, the regions, in order to accelerate our brand presence everywhere. So working, of course, with Amazon, but not only, with all the e-retailer that we have all over the world, and trying to bring expertise to local people, local teams, sales and marketing, in order to accelerate our brand presence online.
Great. And that's, we will share, or you will be sharing a lot of your experience about content and how to build the brand, because Michelin is using specifically Amazon to that purpose. A few words about e-commerce, who we are. We are a full service e-commerce agency. We are everywhere in the world. We're home based in Luxembourg, but we have a team now in the United States, a team in India, and also a small team in Madagascar. We're an independent company with 50 employees. We are very strong. We have a very strong link with Amazon through verified partner status. And we can see through the different names, we have a lot of different verticals, and we work with a lot of different industries, Michelin being one of our partners. We have a 360-degree solution, which goes from strategic consulting to account management to retail media advertising. And also we have our own account. So for some brands, we help them going through our account, and we have a very operational experience. But enough about us, and let's get into the Michelin story a bit. So if we look at the different steps, we've summarized them into 5 steps, which we will use as a canvas to discuss today. The first thing which we did was work on the brand registration, making sure that the Michelin brand was protected on Amazon and was having the brand registration. The second part is there was a lot of work on the content creation, and we did that in partnership with another agency called eBusiness Institute. Then there was the last 3 steps are the ones we will be focusing most on, is uploading the above the fold content, and we'll see what it is, uploading the below the fold content, and then creating the brand stores in every countries where Michelin is active. We'll focus on the Amazon UK website just because English is convenient for everyone. So we will look at, okay, what we've done, but also what we believe, and what Pierre-Loic believes mostly is the best type of content for each part. So just to start, before we go online, the joke we have, and with Pierre-Loic, is a slide we love together, is one of when we did the research, I think it was 2019 or 2020, when you were looking for Michelin in the US, you had to look for a bit. It was not the first product, but you could find this product page. And this is like an action to, or call to action, sorry, in the sense that a big brand, if you're not controlling your content, you could find a product which has got completely wrong picture. That means a third-party seller has uploaded your content and probably they didn't have pictures, so they put a random picture. So you can understand that in terms of impact for your branding. Wow, that's okay. You don't really want to have that associated to your brand as Michelin, a professional tire maker. So let's go first on the, I don't know if you want to say something to the process, Pierre-Loic.
No, go ahead. I mean, I love this picture. This is definitely one of my favorite, and this is probably the first exchange we had at that time, Jerome, when I joined. There was exactly in 2020. So you did this global strategic survey analysis, let's say, just before my arriving. And then there was the starting point of our work since 2020. Yes, and I love this picture. And we had so many reactions when we showed these pictures, and it helped us having all the people in Michelin understand what is Amazon and why we need to play a role on the platform.
Exactly, because if you don't take the control, and namely of the brand registration, you can end up with things which are out of control. So let's go into an example of a page. So this is on amazon.co.uk, and we'll go into the above the fold. So do you want to summarize a bit what has been the work there, Pierre-Loic?
Yeah, if you don't mind. So once again, when I joined the Michelin group in 2020, mid-2020, yes, the situation with Amazon was quite clear. There is about to have nothing, let's say. I mean, Jerome already did some exploratory work, let's say, and draft a kind of strategic approach that we need to have, at least a benchmark, an analysis, an audit of our brand presence on Amazon. And then that's where we have those kind of lady picture instead of our tire. Or even we do have some content with washing machine, content wording inside, and so on and so forth. So it was absolutely nuts, the experience that we want to have, that we want to display, that we want to convey to our end consumer. So basically, we realized, and thanks to Jerome and the team, that we need to drive our brand visibility on site. Whether we like it or not, because Amazon is not a strategic partner in the Michelin environment when it comes to sales and distribution, but it becomes a strategic partner when it comes to media and brand visibility. So basically, whether we like it or not, our consumers spend some time on Amazon in order to buy products, before buying product, let's say, or at least to get some information on our product. And Michelin, as a premium brand at that time, we need to communicate, to showcase our products, and to make the consumer understand our premiumness, why our products are more premium than the others. So basically, we started the work with Jerome, and at that time, yes, content was obvious, let's say, but we even had no content to upload on Amazon. So the first step was, okay, the analysis was done and the decision was said, okay, we need to go. But then there was to create the content. And this we rely on other agency link with the e-Comas. But yes, that was the starting point of all the e-retail work that we've did with all the retailer and especially with Amazon. And so basically, Jerome, tell me if I'm if you want me to go.
Good. You can go on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can
if I'm
give the
talking too
different
much,
details of the page. Yeah.
yes. So starting with the basic, this is always by setting the basic right with Amazon. So we started first on creating, on giving a brief to what we need when it comes to e-retail and especially to Amazon. So pictures were the first asset we need to work on. And we did work with CGI, computer generated images. So that was directly from the mold in factories, let's say, sorry. We extract the file to create the mold, and we recreate from computer assist the pictures. one of the things that we did very right was that we developed the picture. I mean, each picture for each CAI. Each ASINs had this own picture with the correct size in the tire, let's say. So that means that we created hundred of thousand images in order to have the exact right pictures for the right models. So
Which is
basically, this
here.
was
Yeah, and the
sorry.
example
Yeah,
is like 21560 R17. This is what you change in each CGI, right? To make sure
exactly.
that it was
And
exactly to the title, 21560 R17, right?
yes, and this is not the exact pictures than the 2005 60 R17. So yes, there was a huge work to create and generate those CGI. So basically, we work partly on CGI. Then we use product in use, product in context in order to explain the benefits of our product. And this is what we've seen there. Product benefit, yes, product in context also, in order to make them realize how we can use our tire, let's say. And then we work on two other assets. The one classic, let's say the video, and which was on the range level, but still this is to explain our superiority of our product and why and how you will use our product. Even this is obvious and needed, this requires time and resources. So there was also one of the assets that we developed. And the latest one, this is probably the most, let's say, hard to finalize. There was what we call the 360 or the rotator. We spend hours with Jerome in order to be sure that we get the right format in order to upload this to Amazon. And we spend hours and hours to find this live on Amazon. So we deeply think that our tire lover would like to see how the tire looks like on the rim, how the tire looks like from the back, from all of the side of the product. And basically, that was one of the main let's say success. I mean, we need to have small success, but this is a success still. And we had with Jerome at that time and the team and the e-commerce team to have this developed and upload on Amazon. Yes.
And
So
so to be fair, this option was provide like the ability to do it was given by the platform, by Amazon itself, but then you have to provide all the pictures, which creates a rotator, and then the system sort of creates that animation. It looks a bit like a GIF, and you move just with your mouse like that, and you have this view, which I find very customer friendly indeed.
I mean, this is not rocket science that what we will talk today, but still this has happened and this is our main success, let's say.
The learning here is to try to look at what's happening on competitor pages or other pages to see, okay, this option, like if you say, okay, for my product, it really makes sense for customers to see all the different angles, then it makes sense to talk to your vendor manager if you're in 1P, because that's usually those options are most of the time first available for 1P, so for vendors. So it's a great thing to engage your vendor manager with or about.
Yeah. So basically, this is what we've did on the, let's say, picture asset or visual asset. Then, as we need to work in every Amazon account, the title has been reworked, of course, in order to have a coherence, in order to be sure that we are tackling the right keywords on it. Then we work on the variation, and this is correct. This is a platform that offers us the way to do variation, but still, it was not as easy as we imagined. And then we work definitely on the, if you go down, Jerome, yes, on the bullet points. Yes, we do develop at least 5 bullet points per ranges in order to express the product benefits of each tires. So that was quite easy to understand, but we have, let's say, an important, strong legal regulation within our industry, at least within Michelin. And so we need to be sure that what we claim has been challenged and validated by the legal department with clear product testing and clear and official, let's say, product testing. Yes. So that was what we shared during the bullet points, the at least 5 bullet points, to be sure that we share this with the end consumer.
And what I like, if I like specifically, and this is the each brand can decide, is the fact that the title is not like three lines long. It's very short and sharp, which you will be able to see on mobile because it's only less than 70 characters. It's really down to the point. It's tire, summer tires, very simple. Michelin because you want the brand, and then the type and the size. And that's very simple. And you need to have the energy class because that's the regulation. And I find that very like especially when you're a very well-known brand, you don't want to go into too much, like making it too fluffy. And this is really straight to the point. So I think that's very, very efficient.
One funny fact, if I may, Jérôme, within the Amazon Vendor Central platform, they were requiring us so many information that we were not, allow or used to share with the consumer. And the most critical one was the tread depth, meaning the tread depth of the tire out of the factory. And so there are some internal discussion where we say, yes, we are allowed to do it. No, we don't want to do it. We don't want to share it with Amazon. We can share it with with the consumer, but not with Amazon. I mean, there was tons of discussion in order to have the final agreement and the green line from the legal from the legal department that yes, we can share the thread depth out of the factory. Yes.
And because it's a very interesting point, because Amazon being Amazon, if it's a like it's a mandatory field, if you don't provide the tread depths information, then they say, okay, your product can't go live. And then the manufacturer says, okay, that's something we're not specific, or like it could be anything, we're not very comfortable. Amazon is not a tire seller by definition, so they don't really know what's the difference. So you sometimes have to navigate things like that and find a compromise, which is okay. What can the legal team accept, and does that make a huge difference for the end users? To be fair, I don't feel it does, but maybe Amazon thought it did. So it's like you have to navigate those things when you have a bit more like technical products, let's say.
And without having the internal expertise or understanding of Amazon, it was difficult to make them understand that yes, we need this, but why we need this at the end of the day, I don't know. But this is on the Amazon format, and we need to give a metrics in order to be sure that our products are live. And we were fighting with the old fashioned to do business. Oh, come on, Amazon can understand that we don't know. No, Amazon, this is the format, and yes, either this is ticking the box, either this is a yes, either this is a no. But there are no gray zone or middle zone if you want to work with Amazon.
Yeah, one thing which is interesting and that Amazon is trying to push, and which is specific to tires, is that when you buy a tire, it's unlikely that you can put the tire yourself on the car. So they are starting to provide the service to also have a fitter, have an appointment with the fitter, so that you can ship the tires to the fitter who will fit the tires at the same time. So you would need to. So typically, if you use your own account, you can add your own car, and then it will know exactly if that tire fits your car, and then you can select a provider or select a fitter within, here it's the UK, within your the zone, and you can take an appointment with the fitter at the same time as buying the tires. So they are working on adding services, and I think automotive is industry. They are still very small. They don't have a lot of industries where they're small, but that's one. And they're really investing in trying to grow the services beyond only the product, which is very interesting as brands. And if you're in the tire industry, obviously it's interesting. But if you in other industries where you have to have a third party, Amazon is looking into ways to increase their business by adding more services. And I find that very interesting. In the US, they have that since longer, and in Europe, it's coming step by step.
Yeah, and what is funny, and this is funny also, funny, not that funny for Amazon, but that yes, one of our specificity within our tire environment, that we need a third party to fit your tire, and then the consumer experience on Amazon is not that perfect at that level that Amazon would like to be, because they are fighting to get a good regional coverage, I mean territory coverage of the fitting network, in order to be sure that you can buy your tire online and then having then delivered and fit wherever you want at 200 meters from your home. And so main of the business now done on Amazon is that you receive your tire at home, and then you take your tire at home, you put on your tank, and then you go to a fitting network, to a fitting shop to have your tire fitted. So this is the consumer experience is not that optimized today, but they are strongly working on it, and they are getting better and better every day.
Yeah, and they're a bit late to the party. So most of the time Amazon is in advance, but in those specific businesses, Amazon is a bit late because other players have been there. You have Black Circles in the UK, for example, and other players which are really, really strong. So
Yep.
this ends up, so that's called above the fold, because the fold is basically when we start to move. So this is above, and we'll now look at below the fold. So one thing is I was surprised that this brand, so Varsani Girls Cap, is targeting the Michelin Primacy 4 Plus page. So probably the guys with a Primacy 4 Plus tire have also a Varsani Girls Cap baseball. So I'm just saying that's an interesting targeting. But that's live, so I didn't it comes and goes. So this is the below the fold, or some people call it's called also A+ content. Do you want to give a bit what was the approach, Michelin's approach? Because like, is it done SKU by SKU, by a range, by category?
I mean, we need also to have to be as efficient as possible when it comes to Amazon, because when I joined, we do what we call the recovery, meaning uploaded tons and tons and tons of ASIN in order to recover from the starting point, let's say. So at the time, we had on those A+ content strategy an approach which was more direct and more efficient. So we build those A+ content page, I mean, the A+ content part, and we build at the range level, meaning once for the range, and then we upload in bulk for all for same content for all the range, meaning that we save some time and some extra resources in order to upload. So yes, we build a kind of basic A+ content with the main information we would like to share, sometimes about the brand itself. So this is the committed to the sustainability and by your side and innovative for 30 years and more, for 130 years and more, sorry, and some on the product. But basically, there was the maximum or the minimum we assume in order to move forward with those A+ content.
And one thing which is interesting is this like a table is normally the one which is the most efficient in terms of A+, is that you want to show like different ranges on that. It's really a great like cross-selling item. So for anyone who's interested in A+, that's one of the modules you really want to use. And here, so was there a specific choice on the different ranges? How did you sort of choose? Because there's a lot of different ranges, right?
Yes, I mean, we do rely on our internal expertise to understand the consumer and say that if the consumer is looking for this range, it might be interesting on this one and this one in order to have a trade up, for example. But yes, that was the approach that we decided at that time. Yes.
And there's also summer versus winter versus all season. So I think it's a great, like, you can think about the customer journey and think about okay, he's interested in summer, but maybe you want already for him to think about the winter tire or the all season tire. One thing which is important to note is that it's highly regulated, as you said, and there is an obligation of having a legal text, which probably no one will read, but which you have to have. And it was decided that the best place was at the end of the A+ page, right?
Yeah, I mean, this one is not that relevant for the consumer, I mean, for the end consumers, but still needed for the legal part. So yes, we decided to put below, and if it could be again below and below and below and deeper in the page on the page, yes, we would love to have it disappeared, but yes, this is the legal contract.
Yeah. And then after, so you have all the details, which is a summary of what you had. And if we go lower, so you have the ratings and reviews. So we have little reviews in the UK. So it's to your point about, okay, Amazon is probably struggling. Interestingly, it's reviews from Italy, which show. So it shows that Amazon sort of benchmarks or sometimes adds or aggregates reviews from customers. So it's 9 reviews. It's not a lot. It's 4.1, which is still very good. Is that something, are you looking at reviews? Is that something that the company is following or not really?
Fully transparent, we are focusing for the moment on our e-retail network in order to accelerate and generate some reviews. The Amazon part is not for the moment a clear focus when it comes to ratings and review. But yes, as every brand, we try to capture and to learn about what the consumer is saying about our product. But this is not the main focus on Amazon, for us at least for the moment.
Okay.
And true, if I could share a bit of market distribution knowledge across this team, yes, Amazon is fighting more in UK than in Italy, for example, and we do have figures that many Italian people go on Amazon before choosing a tire. So we know that in Italy, the Amazon is critical in the consumer journey. This is less the case in UK, less the case in France, probably, because there are some huge and strong pure player in France and UK. This is Allopneu in France, this is Black Circle in UK, that capture most of the traffic. And so the consumer does not need to go to Amazon for the moment in order to understand our ranges and the superiority of our product.
It's very interesting because usually in the Amazon world, we say, okay, Germany, UK are very big. That's the biggest market. But actually, in some cases, because of the competitive environment, because probably in Italy, there's no, I don't know, but there's no big website selling tires. Yep. Therefore, Amazon is the only one. So sometimes Amazon is a bit late to the party, but still early in some of the markets. So that's why their expansion can be really interesting in the different countries. And makes sense to adapt your strategy based on which country you're in, because if there's no other player, then maybe Amazon has got a position in Italy which is different than in the UK. Yep. Yeah,
and definitely the country where we are selling and where Amazon is selling more tires, this is Germany, of course.
Okay. Yeah,
but when it comes to search, yes, this is Italy, for example.
That's really interesting because the size of the Amazon Italy market is much smaller, and the number of people viewing in general is much less. So it's interesting. So if you have a specific market, it means, or sorry, a specific industry or product, it's interesting to look at countries yes. separately.
But we need to consider Amazon as a search platform and as a sale platform. And in our industry, the result is really different if we consider search or if we consider sales.
Yeah. It's very similar to DIY brands or anything which is either bulky or complex, or like because needing a third party to fit or to set up. I think Amazon is like this in between where like brands could focus on like only the branding side, which clearly is more we're talking about, and the sales is a bit too complex or not there yet. So like brands are sort of making sure they're ready and following what's happening, but still not being sure of them being strong, which is, it's interesting because we hear Amazon is so big or so strong in everything that it's unusual to see them like in the weaker, in the sense, position.
Yeah. So Jérôme, if we're coming back to our journey, if you don't mind. So first of all, basically we did the brand registry. This is the only thing in order to take back the control of our brands, and this is to avoid having some, sorry to say, some shitty pictures instead of our tires. So that was the first thing we did with you. Then we moved to creating the content, upload below, upload above, upload below. And once we did that in every market, we said, okay, guys, we are ready to move to the brand store. And this is the classical next step once we did the first and the second step.
And the link for the brand stores is always below the title. And so I've opened already the page. One thing about relooping on the brand registry part is that you cannot have a brand store if you don't register your brand. So it's super important to control your content, but also to be able to get access to specific features like the brand store. So Pierre-Loic, do you want to give a bit about what was the mindset, or what did you want to achieve with this brand store?
So when I joined, once again, there are multiple brand stores within the Michelin environment. Sometimes the brand store was red, sometimes it was green, sometimes it was blue per chance, sometimes it was yellow. I mean, there was no coherence between the way we want to communicate with the consumer. So basically what we did, we decided to stop all the brand store, which was done actually by some sellers, some licensees that were trying. There is no one doing things on Amazon on the brand store side. So as tactic as possible, they were developing their own brand store, but they were not respecting the brand. They were not meeting the guidelines that we had from the brand perspective. So basically, we decided to say, stop, hand of party. We will take back the control of it. So we had at that time hard discussion with those guys. We are selling some shoes about Michelin, some accessories, some spare parts, and say, okay, stop. This is now a hand of the party, and we will take back the control of it. So what we decided, and there was a great game of coordination within Michelin, is that we will have one single brand store per country. Fair enough. But when we are Michelin, we need to deal with different environments. So we have the business line that are selling tires for automotive, meaning 4-wheel tires, 2-wheel tires, bag tires, moto tires, guided maps. Some other were selling spare parts. I don't know how to call them. Vehicle accessories. Many different business lines that were talking on the same brand store. So we did coordinate this with Jerome, and we spent a lot of time trying to align within Michelin all those business lines, including the corporate team in order to talk about the Michelin brand and the way we need to display the Michelin brand. So we aligned everyone, and finally we land on this global brand store. The idea of this brand store is not to have a brand store. Okay, yes, I'm searching for a 4-wheel, I'm searching for a 2-wheel product, I'm searching for accessories, I'm searching for this, for that, for those. We try to be as consumer-centric as possible and having a cross experience when it comes to our products. So basically, if you scroll down, Jerome, we are more to say, okay, we need to have, I don't know, explore winter with my car. So we need to go on a winter trip with my car. And then we put below this explore winter section, all the product, all the subcategory product, let's say, that I may need while traveling in winter. So yes, it comes to winter tire, but also all season tire, but also snow chains, but also wiper blades, but also tire care, and probably also guidance maps. Many things that we need, many Michelin products that we need for traveling in winter. So that was a first initiative, let's say, about consumer-centric, not having a deep dive product by product, but more by consumer approach, let's say.
And it's interesting because indeed, when you have a brand and it's interesting to look at the different brands and what they do with their own brand store. And not many really go through this customer journey, which is, okay, as a customer, what do I want to talk about? Do I know exactly, okay, I have, it's only 2 wheels, or do you want to bring him into, okay, do you know that the Michelin environment is many different products? And that's why it's like the seasons was the approach which made most sense in terms of, okay, a lot of things which define tires or accessories is if it's warm or if it's cold. It's true that some countries would make less sense. Like if you're in Mexico, obviously the snow part makes less sense. But it's true that worldwide that this 4-season approach worked a lot. And if for the people who really wanted to shop by range, they have all the different range as a catalog here, or even the product list where they can find all the different all the products. And you have to bear in mind that the brand store has only 3 levels. So you can have if you go to the homepage, you can have only, okay, come on, let me go out. If you go to the homepage, the first part is the big the first section is okay all year. Then the second one is this second page. Let's say I want to see all season, and the third one is you have to show the product themselves. So you can't really play too much. Like the technology of the brand store is not like a website where you can have multiple pages. You are limited to 3, so you can't do as many things as you want. So those both things is okay, making sure that you go through the customer journey and that you follow the restrictions of the Amazon brand store.
So yes, so basically we did the same strategy, meaning brand registry, content creation, content uploaded brand store within the EU5, so France, UK, Italy, Germany, and Spain. Then we work also with the US and Canadian team in order to have to deploy the same brand store everywhere. We include also Mexico, and then probably the next journey for us, this is with Japan. So basically, we will cover most of the Amazon country. There are still some to go, to be honest. We are thinking about the Nordics, the Polish one, yes, also. I mean, there are some country, yes, to tackle, but most of the country of the Amazon country within the Michelin environments are done with this global strategy.
And what's interesting is also you can, like if you can write amazon.fr/Michelin. This is an option you can activate and to make sure that it goes directly to your brand store. And as you can see, the look and feel is exactly the same if you go in France, if you go to the UK or the different countries. The other thing which we saw on the homepage is that what's very interesting is to make sure that you have news updates also on your brand store. You can use having a banner here, for example, is one of the licensees which is selling windscreen wipers, is to make a specific action there and to have a sort of an animation which you can link to your retail media campaigns or your promotions. So making it lively is another thing which really makes sense. You can see also when a brand is there for mostly for branding, or if it's for sales. We don't have, for example, here a promotion page, which usually is a very successful page on the brand store, because it's not the target of the brand here to promote, and there's so many players that it's difficult to activate this promotion page. But usually it's a good one to have for the ones who really want to promote the selling.
Yes, this is a valid point, Jérôme, and this is part of our strategy up to now. And this is, I mean, I don't know if this is the right moment, but we do not want to focus about who is reselling our product on the platform. We just would like to focus on the way our products are displayed and the way we capture the traffic already presented to already in Amazon towards our product detail page or our brand store. But yes, the objective of this brand store is more communication instead of direct sales.
Exactly.
And so now the next step, content, brand registry, content, product detail page, brand store. Then the next step that we are working on currently with the country, this is about retail media. We need to capture the traffic on Amazon in order to drive the traffic to our pages. So basically, we are working with our global agencies and the local market in order to invest on retail media. So this is quite new for us. We have the German team who is quite ahead of the other countries with the US, but still the option is to start working with France, with UK, with Italy, in order to, once again, to capture most of the traffic on the automotive sector directly to our product detail page. And for the moment, we assume and we acknowledge that okay, there is no deal, there is no pain if this is a product that this is sold by a wholesaler that we don't know, a partner that we know, Jérôme de Guigné, if you want to sell some tires. I mean, at the end of the day, we say, okay, if this is a product, we activate the sellout, and this is a Michelin product that has been sold to the end consumer. At the end of the day, we definitely sell this product in sell-in. So even if we share a little bit of the value, at the end of the day, this is a Michelin product that has been sold to the end consumer and fitted on the car. So
It's
basically, for the moment, we acknowledge and we assume this strategy.
It's a bit like doing like a TV ad. You don't know who's going to sell the product behind it, but the brand is like, it's a real branding exercise where you say, okay, we know that it will have a good impact. The ROPO impact, research, online purchase, offline or purchase anywhere, it has a good impact for the company. And it's interesting to see that specifically in the industry of the tire industry, where we can see Amazon is still not very good at selling, it's still very good at branding, because we can see that, like you were saying, Italy specifically, people search on Amazon before going and buying a tire. So it's really, in a difficult industry, it's very important. So in all the other industries, obviously Amazon is a very big player. And there are a lot of brands which say, okay, I'm not really interested in selling on Amazon, but then there's a big gap of, okay, you still need to be there to control your content. And I've never seen like content really well handled if the brand is not involved themselves, because there's so much issues to solve that you really need to have the energy and the passion of a brand that the reseller probably will not have in the same way to handle it.
Yes, and one comment, as humble as possible, we did have some exchange with Amazon team based in Luxembourg, so EU team, and they recognize us as a best practice, as a best perfect content execution about tire, within the tire environment. And in a way, they were acknowledged that they need us in order to make react the other manufacturer, the other brand of the tire industry, in order to start developing their content and deploying their resources on Amazon. So basically, we were one of the first brand manuf to work with Amazon at this stage of content.
Great. We'll open to questions if anyone has got any. So you can go in the Q&A section, or the Q&A is the best part. I have someone asked me a question when he saw we were having this webinar. He couldn't join. He asked me, in your experience, Pierre-Loic, what was the biggest hurdle with Amazon in terms of when you were handling the content? We know, for anyone who's worked with Amazon, there's a lot of issues with content because you lose content. What was your one of the learnings, or one of on the
Yes, this is definitely not an easy journey. Yes, I mean, the way it is a bit frustrating when we are working on your content with Amazon is that on the paper, yes, this is all self-service. You are doing by your own. This is working perfectly well. The execution is 100% perfect, and there is no way and no need to discuss with Amazon and to ask something from Amazon. But in the reality, we are fighting like a hell. And thank you, Jerome and Antonio, people from your team that spend hours to upload the content, re-upload the content, open a ticket, be sure that the new content is re-uploading in the right way at the right moment, because there were some people, and we don't know, probably understand why and how our content has been overwriting so many times. So the brand registry is not perfectly executed. So we do not have any support from Amazon, because we do not have any IVS or official support that we pay from Amazon. So we were dealing only with the support in East Europe or in India, and it was not that priority for us, because we are not paying an IVS and so on and so forth. So yes, this is not an easy journey, but at the end of the day, with a bit of energy and resilience, yes, we finally have a good result.
I have two questions which are very similar in two KPIs. I'll read the first one is, do you have data results about the brand store that shows that consumer actually engage with your content? Time spent per visit, reduced bounce rate, conversion rate compared to before with a new version?
Yes, we do have it. I mean, yes. As we do not have any direct business relation or contractualization with Amazon, we do not have sales agreement with Amazon Michelin personally. That means that we have a limited info coming back from the platform. But when it comes to the brand store, yes, we do have some few elements that we need to tackle with cautious. But yes, we do have the time spent, the number of sessions, number of page visited. Yes, we do not have the granularity that we can have when we are selling directly about sell performance or sell velocity or whatever. But yes, we do have some insight, let's say. And from the insight that we are following, yes, the results are quite good, meaning we have more and more people engage with our brands, at least our brand, because yes, we do work on Michelin, but also on some part of the world on other brands. But yes, the results are encouraging, and yes, we are trying to move forward in that direction.
And the other question was about the KPI tracked also. Is there any other KPIs you're following in terms of like return on investment is difficult because there's no, like, as you said, the retail media is not really there and you're selling, but on the content, is there anything you were able to measure?
I mean, no, to be honest. I mean, we do not have the magic KPIs. We are relying on Amazon Media, Amazon Advertising that are sharing with us the size of the category and where Michelin is in that category. So this is a bench that we are using every year, let's say, or every 6 months. This is not 100% perfect, to be honest. But no, we do not have perfect KPI monitoring. But once again, if we are considering that this is an overall investment when we need to be present in every touch point, hijacking all touch points that we can from a consumer perspective, yes, our role is more global and strategic than local with a clear business KPI.
Okay, that's clear. I hope that answered your questions. So we've just a few last questions if you have any. I remember, like, when we were talking about the brand stores, typically we can see things like 20 to 30% increase in number of visits, right? Because the metrics Amazon share in terms of the brand store is the number of visitors and which page they visited. So you can even create some specific URLs which you can put in some media campaigns from, like, Facebook, for example, where you send people to one specific URL, and then the brand store will be able to give you metrics, but it's still limited metrics, right?
Yep, definitely yes. Even the sales impact, they are sharing with us the sales impact, but they are an attribution rate which is not fair, to be honest. I mean, the 15 days of attribution is not that correct, I would say. So basically, if a person come into our brand store and buy an Amazon product during the 2 weeks after this visit, yes, they are considering that this is due to the brand store effects. So yes, we can challenge the figures shared by Amazon. They have the objective to share higher conversion rate than the reality, or that what we consider the reality. So at the end of the day, I'm not spending so much time in trying to get some insight, I mean data or metrics insight from the Amazon brand store.
Yeah, because the metrics you're getting from elsewhere is that a lot of people are visiting websites, and specifically Amazon, like in Italy, and they take their decision based on what they are seeing. So like, technically, if they see a better content, that should help them take a better decision. I have another question, maybe for me, Jerome. Do we know if the content optimization is one of the criteria that can impact on the search algorithm of the platform? It has an indirect impact because the algorithm actually works on conversion rates, meaning when someone is looking for a tire, like or winter tire, and he goes to a Prima C4 Plus, he goes there, he finds it, he buys it, and he leaves a review, a 4.5 star review, a 5-star review. Then, and if you have multiple people doing that, then the system will say, okay, for that keyword, this is one of the products I will recommend and put in forward, right? In organic sense. So if you have a great content which makes you or provides you a better conversion rate, in a sense that really pushes the algorithm, but the algorithm doesn't say, okay, because you have pictures, I will show your product. That doesn't work that way. It like some elements like subscribe and save, which doesn't really work for tires, or functionalities like that will probably give you some that will be pushed because that sort of the system will like that, or being prime eligible, for example, that will have an impact. But the content per se, not the impact of the content. Yes, that answers your question. So maybe as a thanks, Clémentin, as a close of the discussion, after you've gone through that journey, which yeah, we can say is 2.5, 3 years of starting from that. Okay, we can find girls which are in the place of our tires to okay now, which is really I find a really great job in terms of content creation, of the job of the teams and everyone. What are your learnings, or the key learnings in maybe in positive and in negative, as a key takeaway for people who might think, okay, should I invest in content for branding?
I mean, probably this is the main stake that we did when we discussed the first time together. This is whether you like it or not, your end consumer is spending some time on Amazon. So, and it is worth having a direct relation with your end consumer, and not putting outside of the game, putting your brand outside of the game. So this is definitely the most learning that we have, and all of this has been done without impacting the distribution guidelines that we have when it comes to sales distribution. So basically, we should consider Amazon not only as a sales partner and not only as a media partner, but rely and play with both sides of Amazon, and consider Amazon the way you want, the way you want to consider them.
Okay, so I think that's a great words for the end, which is, okay, this is a whole ecosystem. People are there anyways, and you need to play the game outside, otherwise you might end up being out of the game, as you say, and play on the different elements, which is content, but there's all then afterwards retail media, and making sure that you're top of mind of customers on this platform where there's a lot of people going. Thank you very much, Pierre-Loic. It's been a pleasure and an honor, of course, to have you and for you to share that wisdom. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's all for today. Next month, we will meet with another brand, which is more in the let's say, like not baby, but in the game industry. You will see more on our LinkedIn thread. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure to discuss with you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.